Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here. I am working on a 13-week or 90-day challenge journal for the challenge over at Path of Positivity. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, wait a minute. You're right. I did this yesterday, but it's a little different. Yesterday's journal was my summer journal that I was sharing. This one is my fall journal. It's the latest, and the cover is a little bit different. So let's talk about this journal. But first, this is for the challenge over at Path of Positivity, where we are challenged to create something inspired by a quote. And I chose the quote by Henry Miller: "One's destination is never a place, but a new way of seeing things." I thought this would be so perfect for my fall horse journal, because when you're working with a horse, it really is about the way you're seeing things. It's about the way you see your horse and the way your horse sees you. And you can learn so much more if you're not fixated on the outcome, but instead being observant of what your horse is doing in the moment and of what you're doing in the moment. And so this is a great place to document that and keep track of the progress of me and my horse Jake. So let's get on with this project. I've gathered together some supplies. I have these wide eyelets. I have some ribbon. And I'm going to put all this together here in an ice cream lid. And I have some double score tape. I have a pencil. I have my paper piercing tool, as well as these little foam mats that I use when I poke my signatures. I've got a needle and thread, and that thread is a heavy-duty double F thread. I have some cereal box pieces cut here, and I actually have two of these. I'm just showing one, but I have two the same size. Here is my cover. Those images are from Creative Fabrica. I put that all together in Canva, and I'll post that below. Here's some paper that I am going to glue onto cereal box just to give it a little more heft. Here are my signatures that I put together. They are 8.5 by 11 folded in half. Here is my file folder. The vertical length is 8.75 inches. Here I have measured 5.75 inches from that fold line. Then on the back side of my folder, I did the exact same thing. When I cut the file folder, I cut it 5.75 from that actual fold line. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover everything with the double-sided tape, as well as I will be gluing it on with Fabri-Tac. We're going to ink around the edges of my paper here, and we're going to go ahead and ink up the floral. This is a really fun floral folder. I believe it's close to my heart. I'm going to ink up over that. It just gave my pocket a little bit of pattern. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, you saw that I ripped it. So when I went in and did this one, I actually just did it with fewer pieces of scrims, you know, when you go through to run it through the embossing folder. And I just didn't use as many scrims. And so it didn't tear my paper this time. All right, but if you do tear your paper, you can always just add a backing to it, and that fixes the problem. All right, I went ahead and adhered that into my folder, and now I'm going to start building the front cover. I'm going to take this paper, which is kind of thin, and I believe it's a ColorBok. I'll list it below. It's really old. It's been in my stash, but I love it. I love that deep, dark brown with that pattern. Again, using some double score tape as well as my Fabri-Tac. Again, if you're not familiar with my work, I always use Fabri-Tac, or almost always use Fabri-Tac over double score tape because double score tape really grabs. So I didn't want it to grab that quickly. I wanted to be able to move it if I needed to. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove this double score tape, put on some more Fabri-Tac, and then I will be adhering this onto my chocolatey piece there. This gold piece has been in my stash forever, and I'm not even sure where it's from. Probably might be from that very same stack, actually, that ColorBok stack. All right, so now I have this all glued together, and I'm going to do a little something different here. I'm going to come in with my Crocodile, and I want to poke a couple of holes in there, or chomp a couple of holes. I'm going to measure. Here's a tip for you. If you don't really like measuring and such, you can mark it on your ruler. You can see there that I've got those pencil marks on my ruler, and then just erase them. And that way you don't have to remember the numbers. You've got them on your ruler and you can just clean them off for your next project. It's a metal ruler, so using a pencil is very easy to just do that. All right, so I've chomped my holes in there with my Crocodile, and now I'm going to set these big wide eyelets. These are some chunky eyelets. I love them, love them, love them. They're from We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm just going to set those with my Crocodile. And now run this ribbon through. This ribbon is from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I really like their ribbon. I love their ribbon. And a lot of times I'll just buy it's like an assorted ribbon package. You know, you don't really know what you're going to get. And that's kind of fun. I like buying those as well as buying, you know, the ribbon that I know that I want. All right, I'm going to cut off the tails here and just set that aside because I really don't want to put that on my folder yet. But before I set it aside, I'm going to build up around that ribbon. I'm going to do that by making a channel for the ribbon by cutting more cereal box and placing it around the ribbon. And you'll be able to see what I'm doing here as I go along. I'm going to put a little piece on top, a little piece to each side, and then a big piece below. And then this will sit on top of my journal, and it will be completely flat. The ribbon will not create a bump. After gluing the cereal box into place, I will go ahead and add my double score tape around the edges, and I'll fill in all of the space there so that it will adhere really closely to the front of my journal. I'm going to set that aside, and now let's talk about the signatures. I'm going to take this and do a 3-hole punch on this, sort of. I'm going to mark it 1.5 inches from the top, 1.5 inches from the bottom, and directly in the middle. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually laying my piece on there that I'm going to use as a pattern. And you can see I have it written on there. It is 8.5 inches, and then I've measured down 1.5 inches from the top, 1.5 inches from the bottom, and then right smack dab in the middle, 4.25. Now I'm going to try to keep my piercing tool exactly in the middle of these signatures, and I'm going to pierce through each one of these signatures, the holes, and then I'll be able to stitch those into place. If you watched yesterday's video, you know that I did not include any footage of my stitching my signatures. It was just not very good. So I'm going to include a couple of videos that are very good because I want to do right by you, the viewers. So you can check out those videos and see which one you like and follow that tutorial. All right, I have my signature stitched, and now I'm coming in and I have those pieces of cereal box that I have cut just slightly smaller than the size of the spine of the file folder. And I'm going to go ahead and just put that right in there. And I'm using a lot of tape there because I want to make sure it stays. Again, I'm using Fabri-Tac, just in case I don't lay it as cleanly as I would like. I'm going to go ahead and do the inside cover first. And this varies. This is a little different from the one I did yesterday. So again, I'm going to tape it up with double score tape, use a little of my glue, my Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to place that on that front cover. So here I am. I'm going to put in that spine. And now I'm going to come in and place the front inside cover. Again, this is from the same stack of paper. I thought this was really, really pretty for fall. This one has some little butterflies on it, and I thought, oh, that is so pretty. I like that. So we're going to just place that on the inside cover. You can see that same motif with those little, I don't know what you call those little designs on the upper right-hand side. I've stitched a piece of cereal board the exact same size as the one that I glued into the folder. I stitched that to my signatures, and now I'm adhering those two pieces of board together. I'm wiping off some extra glue there, and now the signatures are inside and I can go back to the cover. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up so it will lay very flat for me. Now I have the fun of removing all the little carrier sheets for the tape that I put on, which sometimes can be tricky. And then I will add my Fabri-Tac over the tape, the double score tape, and I can then go ahead and glue it onto the front cover. And that pretty much completes my project. I did make a little clip to go in. I did not make a video of that, but it is basically just a button glued onto a paper clip, and it was a fall leaf button. Hey, thanks for joining me for this video. Any comments or questions, leave them below, and you will find links to the challenge and all of the videos that I have referenced in that box below also. Come join us at the Path of Positivity Challenge. We'd love to see you there. Have a great week. Bye.